Hi folks, and welcome to house hunting in not Pattaya. We left Pattaya this morning. We came down to one of my favorite places in the whole entire country, Had Marimpung, or Marimpung Beach. And this is where I used to vacation about 30 years ago. And I've often said, if I move out of Pattaya, I might try here next. So we've come down here to look at some houses. We looked at one on the way. There's a couple different ways to look at houses, to find houses here. One would be a realtor, estate agent, whatever you want to call them. And we can do that. We did that on the way down here. And that same lady who showed us a house much closer to Rayong proper, though, she says she has something in this area she'd like to show us later. So that's one way, and we'll follow up with that. A second way is, believe it or not, just word of mouth. Ask people, hey, you know any place to rent? Ask the locals, ask some people in the area where you want to live, and we'll do some of that today as well. I'm a big believer in that, especially here since there's no MLS or multiple listing service. The realtors only show you their listings, so it's impossible to capture everything for sale or everything for rent at one place. So you got to use all these tools, realtor, word of mouth, and there's always another option, and I recommend this to people all the time, and that is get yourself something like this and just ride around. That's what we're going to do today. We've rented this. It's basically a scooter, a Honda Click with a sidecar on it. Call that a samling, freewheel little conveyance. It's very nice though. It's almost new. We're at a place called Victory View. This was not the place I intended to rent one of these. The place was Rainbow Motorbikes up the road here. It's a bigger operation, but they didn't have a three-wheeler. At least not for today. So we came here. They actually sent us here, and there's a German restaurant here. So anyway, they have this, and got a driver, a chauffeur, whatever you want to call it, and we'll go around and we'll see. I want to get deep into the boughs off the beaten path here along the beach. Even though the beach is very nice, and we might look at some places along the beach, I want to get out and just see, do we see any for rent signs, things like that. We can talk to some folks and see a little bit of the countryside, because I tell you here, the real reason I love this, you got the big beautiful beach that's, believe it or not, about twice as long as Jom Tien Beach, just to put it in perspective for you. It's about 9 kilometers, where Jom Tien, from the police box all the way to the end at Na Jom Tien, is only 5 kilometers. This guy's 9. But just inland, you might as well think you're in Isan. It turns into a real countryside. If Isan is the breadbasket of Thailand, I think down here would be maybe the seafood soup. There's a lot of shrimp farming. There is agricultural fruit, things like that. Anyway, we'll go and we'll take you guys along, and we will hit the road and see what we find.
Well, yeah, we'll get all saddled up here. I've even got a little trunk here in the three-wheeler. I thought this would be a good conveyance for this. Everybody down here seems to have these. Look at this, even Louis Vuitton inspired interior. So Lon sat in the driver's seat like she was going to drive, but then she got a phone call and just changed her mind. So looks like I'll be stuck doing all the steering and the gearing. But I thought this would be good because it's a slower type vehicle. So we'll get it all started up here and see what it's going to be. Also, it seems like there's a lot of other places that rent these too. It just is kind of the way to get around here.
We're just getting ready to take off, and we already got a call from this realtor. So before I can go just joyriding around, we'll go and see what she has for us to look at. So we're supposed to meet this lady at the Hotel Wellington. I've never been back here. Little Soy, we're no more than 2-3 blocks from the beach. But all along this Little Soy, I saw places 400, 450, 500 rooms, all kind of little, smaller hotels. This one at the end is more grand than the rest of Wellington. They've got a sign for 450. So there's some very reasonable lodging to be had down here if you're just looking for a night away or something like that. Oh, but there's all sorts. Of course, you have grandiose places as well. Anyway, as soon as she shows up, we'll see where we're going, but it's somewhere around here. So wow, yeah, we'll take a look in this one. It's more of what I'm looking for, and I really didn't need to be 200 meters from the beach, but that's a plus. So two things have already come true. One, they did have a sign out for sale, for rent rather, a very small, discreet sign, very easy to miss, but those are the things to look for. So riding around is a very plausible way. And we're looking at this house, and I'll show you around a little bit. I think they might have been using it for a daily rental because it's full of beds, like people coming for the weekend. This can be a busy place on the weekend. But we're looking at this house, and there's a little restaurant right behind it. And I went to check that out. 59 baht Thai food, what's not to like there? But there's a guy from England there, and he knows of 2, 3, 4 houses. He's already marked one on my map, not far from here for rent. So the talking to people works as well. And it's a combination of all three of those things that'll probably land you a deal. But I like this, lots of room here. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Mango trees, big house, and more private. It's not one of these neighborhoods where it's house. It's more spread out and bigger pieces of land, and about 200 meters to the beach. So very convenient location. All right, we got a lot of looking around to do though. And I'll probably go to one of these houses that the gentleman recommended that I met as well. I got another friend down here to ask. So we probably don't even have enough time today to do all this.
I really didn't want to spend too much time in any given place because I wanted to look at as much as we could find. But this was a nice option there, and there was actually 2 homes there, almost identical to rent. I guess the theme for the day would be kind of cruising around and turning around. Seems like we were always seeing a sign of some sort or something we wanted to check out and making a turnaround. But the little 3-wheeler turns around on a dime, so there was no problem there. Here's a sign, just as an example. Now this one doesn't really apply. They're selling a piece of land right here. This says it's a little piece of land for sale, but there's many. Here's one for sale and rent, or rent, I guess I should say. And this is a pretty sizable piece of land. You could either put like what they call a knockdown house. We looked at those a couple years ago, or that's kind of the mobile home here of Thailand. Or if you got a long enough lease, build something. But just another option, and that's a big piece of land. You know, Lon said something very interesting while we were riding around here. Here's another one over here, and this is really only 3 blocks from the beach. But if I told you it was the middle of Isan, you'd believe me. It just looks barren. It looks undeveloped. Maybe not even utilities. But she said, you know, in probably 5 years, this place will really grow up and grow into something and be bustling. I said, you know, that's very interesting. But I said the same thing 32 years ago, back in 1992 on my first trip here. And for the most part, it didn't happen. I mean, here's a guy that's built kind of a McMansion here. This wouldn't have been here 30 years ago, but a big house with a couple outbuildings. So there's some growth, but nothing like the exponential growth that you've seen in the Pattaya, Jomtien area. They're building some new houses over here. I saw these, so we'll stop and take a look, because I saw a house that looked remarkably like this when I was shopping online. I did spend some time online looking at places, for rent down in this area. That's another thing you can do before you even start with boots on the ground, but I'm not sure it's this exact same house. The price was 10,000 baht, but it was a brand new house. It could be a little neighborhood, but there's probably only going to be less than a dozen houses back here. Nice little front yard there, double carport. So nice. This isn't really what I'm looking for, though. Here again, it's house. I'm looking for something more spread out, a bigger piece of land. But there is something to be said for a brand new home. Nobody's ever lived here before. Still the smell of fresh paint inside, and everything's very bright and clean. And, well, it's all new. That's the way you'd expect it. A decent kitchen here. Not necessarily a Western kitchen, but I guess close enough. I think 3 bedrooms, 2 or 3 bedrooms. I got a little sidetracked, but 2 baths. Yeah, I think 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. This is like the common bathroom here. Here again, kind of modern. There is a party piece here though that I wasn't expecting. That made it more interesting. I'll show you that in a second, but definitely enough room for us if we were going to take something like this. The master bedroom has its own bath, almost a twin of the first one. But outside the master bedroom window, that's where I discovered the party piece. This is an end house, so you don't have anybody on the one side, and instead you just have the wall and then this lake. So that's pretty nice. Anyway, I saw the house next door is just beginning construction. So that would be a lot of construction noise for, who knows, maybe the next year or something like that. Might be sooner, but there you go. Anyway, all this looking around and riding around made us hungry, so let's go get something to eat. So there's a little strip of a little bit of a town out here in the countryside, and we landed at a place called BB. BB, and I saw a sign that said pizza. We just followed that, and sure enough, they have pizza there. So a nice little restaurant, Thai food, some Western food. Here again, there was some expats sitting in there. I said, "What do you recommend?" They were all having the fish and chips. I passed on that since it wasn't Friday, but I got spring rolls. Lon went over and got a little snowball icy thing across the street to have with her meal, and a yellow curry chicken. I haven't had that in a while, but everything was decent, very fairly priced. The spring rolls were homemade, and Lon got a beef salad. So there you go. Pretty nice. I think the whole meal here, right around $10, drinks, everything. After lunch, while we were in this little kind of built-up area, I decided to visit a gas station. This lady would be the proprietor of said gas station, so I'll get my gas because I've got to replace any gas that I burn out of this three-wheeler. That's kind of standard on rentals, although sometime at the islands they say, hey, use all the gas you want, just bring it back empty. Here you gotta fill it up. So there, I'll go ahead and fill it up out of the old bottles here. I get 2 bottles. That'll probably be all we use. These Kickz get good mileage, and then we'll continue back into the countryside and look around some more.
This thing does a pretty good job of keeping the sun off of us. I don't know how good of a job it would do at keeping the rain off of us. Maybe if we stopped and it rained, we'd be okay sitting on the side of the road. But if we're riding into it, of course we get wet. I just got some gas because we got to turn this in with the same amount that we got it with, so 5 bars. I think I'm going to go down to the beach and see my buddy. And he's got one of my favorite places ever. Wow, look at this. Bunch of chickens and a dog minded them. I think that might be a dead end. I don't know, we'll go down there. But it sure is like being out in the country here. And it's cool, there's always a nice breeze, depending on how far inland you are, but it's a pretty nice breeze. And I'm thinking the whole time, while we're riding around, we're looking at houses, where's the next house going to be for rent? But at the same time, I'm thinking, wow, it'd be great just to go riding around on my bike here. Just lots of good little back roads, dirt trails, etc., gravel roads, to get your tires dirty and have some fun. Anyway, let's head down to the beach.
Came down to the beach to see my old buddy here at the Sun Moon Bar. He's got like a little place right here on the beach. He sells cold drinks and things like that. He doesn't work too hard, but always just a breeze. You look right across at the beach. Great scenario here. And a guy pulled up in a truck, and he was making, I don't know if he was delivering beer there or not, but a brand new beer, an 89-calorie Singha. So I think my buddy got a case of that to sell, and I tried one. It was kind of light and refreshing, but we've still got a lot to go, a lot of places to go, so I'm going to have to end this one right here. But I will give you a preview for next time.
I just talked to my friend, said there's a place right here on the beach for rent. We got to check this out. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.